Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we are going to explore the true story of one of the most famous extinct animals in history, the dodo bird. For many years, people believed the dodo was a stupid and lazy bird. Movies, cartoons, and books often showed it as clumsy and foolish. But the real story is very different. The dodo was not stupid. It was simply an animal that had lived in a safe environment for thousands of years. It had never learned to fear humans because humans had never been there. Our story begins on a beautiful island called Mauritius, located in the Indian Ocean. Millions of years ago, Mauritius was a peaceful paradise. Thick green forests covered the island. Fresh rivers flowed through the land, and many unique plants and animals lived there. There were no large predators like wolves, lions, or tigers. It was one of the safest places on Earth for birds. Long ago, the ancestors of the dodo were flying pigeons. Scientists believe these birds reached Mauritius after flying across the ocean. Since the island had plenty of food and almost no predators, they no longer needed to fly. Over thousands of years, they slowly changed. Their wings became smaller because flying was no longer necessary. Their bodies became larger and stronger. Their legs became powerful for walking through the forests. This process is called evolution, and it helped the dodo survive perfectly in its peaceful home. An adult dodo was about 1 meter, or 3 feet, tall. It weighed between 10 and 20 kilograms. It had soft gray feathers, a large curved beak, short wings, strong yellow legs, and a small curly tail. Even though it could not fly, the dodo was well adapted to its environment. It spent its days walking through the forest, searching for ripe fruits, seeds, nuts, roots, and sometimes small insects or crabs. It swallowed small stones to help grind food inside its stomach. The forests of Mauritius provided everything the dodo needed. There was plenty of food, clean water, and safe places to build nests. The birds laid their eggs on the ground because they had no dangerous predators to worry about. For thousands of years, the dodo lived a peaceful life. It had no enemies. It had no fear. But that peaceful world was about to change forever. Around the early 1500s, everything changed. For thousands of years, the dodo had lived in complete safety. But one day, large wooden ships appeared on the horizon. They belonged to Portuguese sailors who were exploring new sea routes across the Indian Ocean. When the sailors landed on Mauritius, they found an island full of wildlife that had never seen humans before. As they walked through the forests, they noticed a strange, flightless bird. It was large, calm, and showed no fear. Instead of running away, many dodos simply stood and watched the visitors. The sailors were surprised. Most wild birds fly away when people come close. But the dodo had never needed to fear anything. It had lived without predators for thousands of years, so it did not see humans as a danger. This made the bird very easy to catch. The sailors could simply walk up to a dodo and capture it. Some birds were killed for food during long sea voyages. Although the meat was not always considered delicious, it was still a useful source of fresh food. A few years later, the Dutch arrived and began settling on the island. Unlike the earlier visitors, the Dutch stayed for longer periods. They built camps, cut down forests, and brought many animals with them, including pigs, dogs, cats, rats, and monkeys. At first, these animals did not seem like a big problem. But soon they spread across the island. The dodo built its nests on the ground and usually laid only one egg at a time. Hungry pigs, rats, and monkeys quickly found these nests. They ate the eggs and sometimes even attacked young chicks before they had a chance to grow. Year after year, fewer young dodos survived. The adult birds were also hunted by humans. Without realizing it, people had started destroying the peaceful world where the dodo had lived safely for thousands of years. The bird that had once ruled the forests of Mauritius was now fighting for survival. And sadly, the worst was still to come. As more people settled on Mauritius, the island changed rapidly. The thick forests that had protected the dodo for thousands of years were cut down to make space for farms, roads, and settlements. Every year, more trees disappeared, and the dodo lost the places where it found food and built its nests. Life became harder. The dodo was a slow-moving bird. It could not fly to a safer place, and it could not escape the changes happening around it. The biggest danger was not hunting alone. The animals that humans had brought to the island caused even more damage. Rats, pigs, dogs, cats, and monkeys spread across Mauritius. These animals searched the forests for food and often found dodo nests. Because the dodo built its nest on the ground and usually laid only one egg each year, it could not replace its population quickly. Many eggs were eaten before they could hatch. Many young chicks were killed before they became adults. As a result, fewer and fewer dodos survived each generation. The adult birds also faced danger from hunters. Since the dodo had never learned to fear people, it was easy to catch. It did not run away until it was too late. Scientists believe that no single event caused the dodo's extinction. Instead, several problems happened at the same time. Humans hunted the birds. Forests were destroyed. Introduced animals ate their eggs. Their natural habitat became smaller every year. Together, these problems became too much for the dodo to survive. By the middle of the 1600s, seeing a dodo in the wild had become very rare. The bird that had once lived peacefully across Mauritius was slowly disappearing. Few people realized they were witnessing the end of a unique species that had existed for thousands of years. Soon, the last dodo would disappear forever. By the mid-1600s, the dodo had become very rare. Only a few decades earlier, these birds had lived peacefully all across Mauritius. Now, finding one was becoming difficult. The forests where the dodo once found food and shelter were disappearing. More trees were cut down to build homes, ships, and farms. As the forests became smaller, the dodo had fewer places to live. The animals brought by humans continued to spread across the island. Rats, pigs, monkeys, dogs, and cats searched the forests every day. They destroyed nests, ate eggs, and hunted young chicks before they could grow into adults. Because each dodo laid only one egg at a time, the population could not recover. At the same time, humans continued hunting the birds whenever they found them. Even if hunting alone did not wipe out the dodo, it added more pressure to a species that was already struggling to survive. Every year, there were fewer birds. Every breeding season, fewer chicks survived. Slowly, the dodo disappeared from one part of the island after another. The last reliable sightings came in the late 1600s. After that, no one could find another living dodo. The bird that had lived on Mauritius for thousands of years was gone forever. Today, scientists believe the dodo became extinct around the year 1681. Its extinction happened very quickly, within less than 200 years after humans first reached the island. The dodo became one of the first animals in recorded history to disappear because of human activity. Its story remains one of the world's most powerful reminders of how fragile nature can be. The dodo disappeared more than 300 years ago, but its story is still remembered around the world. For a long time, people believed the dodo was a foolish bird that became extinct because it was weak. Today, scientists know that this is not true. The dodo was perfectly adapted to its environment. It had survived on Mauritius for thousands of years because the island was safe and free from large predators. It had no reason to fear humans or the animals that people later brought to the island. Its extinction was not caused by stupidity. It was caused by rapid environmental change. Human hunting, deforestation, and the introduction of animals such as rats, pigs, dogs, and monkeys created problems that the dodo had never faced before. Together, these changes destroyed the bird's chance of survival. Today, only bones, drawings, and scientific studies remain. Researchers continue to study dodo fossils to learn more about its appearance, behavior, and evolution. Museums around the world proudly display dodo skeletons, reminding visitors of a species that can never return. The dodo has become a global symbol of extinction. Its story teaches us an important lesson. Every animal plays a role in nature. When forests are destroyed or species disappear, the balance of ecosystems is affected. Protecting wildlife today helps ensure that other unique animals do not suffer the same fate as the dodo. Even though the dodo is gone forever, its story continues to inspire scientists, historians, and nature lovers across the world. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this documentary, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss our next journey into the fascinating world of history and ancient wildlife. See you in the next video.